let's play the next part, which is about the moon again.
Now you might say that doesn't prove that the Earth is 6,000 years old, that's just the moon. Okay, well, watch this. If we just recently acquired the moon, which some people theorize, that's impossible because watch this. Let's say you, the camera, are the Earth, and my hand's the moon, okay? So the moon's floating in space, and oh, there's the Earth, and it's caught in its gravitational field. So the moon's now moving towards the Earth, and it's caught in its gravity, and oh, you got a problem. And it just so happens that the moon is not moving towards the Earth, it's actually moving away from the Earth. Pretty cool, huh? What this means is the moon, now that it's traveling away from the Earth, used to be closer. I don't know if you've ever thrown a tennis ball in outer space. If you haven't, you gotta try it. I've actually never done it, but what I do know is space is a frictionless environment. So if you throw a tennis ball at, say, 30 miles an hour, it will continue at 30 miles an hour until it encounters resistance. So the moon, traveling in space, is moving away from the Earth without resistance, meaning it's been traveling away from the Earth at a consistent rate for a given amount of time. If we look at how far the moon is from us, and we look at how quickly it is moving away from us, we realize that it couldn't have been moving away from the Earth very long without catastrophic effects. If the moon was closer to the Earth, dramatically closer, say half the distance, you would quadruple the attraction, and since the moon controls the tides, the Earth would then flood like 4 times a day, and life never would have got started. So if you look at the moon's rate in which it's leaving, and you multiply it for, say, billions of years backwards, then we would all be dead. It's impossible. The moon couldn't have been moving away from the Earth for more than a few thousand years without catastrophic effects.
Okay, first of all, the moon was a result of a Mars-sized object hitting the Earth, not something that we captured from with our gravitational pull. This means that it is indeed going away from us at a constant rate. The moon is receding at about 3.8 centimeters per year, and since the moon is 3.85 times 10 to the 10th centimeters from the Earth, this is already consistent with an Earth-Moon system billions of years old. Actually, this is actually all these arguments are arguments that Hovin made. He's just blurting them out, trying to make them look like his own. I'll possibly put more arguments in the information box because I don't have all my thoughts collected right now. But I think that's pretty much good enough. Let's move on to the next clip.
Okay, let's talk about comets and meteors. As a comet travels through space, it has a tail behind it. A comet's made of rock and ice. That's it. And as it travels through space, it's actually losing its mass. That's the tail you see behind it. That is the rock and the ice just shooting off of the comet. And if something traveling through space is constantly losing its mass, that means eventually there'll be nothing left. It's like if you make a snowball and throw it through space and it's constantly losing snow, eventually there's just no more snowball. Even the largest comets known to man only have a lifespan of a few thousand years because they're constantly losing their mass. So, if the universe was billions of years old, why do we still have comets? It's impossible. Some people may say, well, maybe comets are being formed in outer space. Well, it's never been observed, first of all. And second, it's impossible to freeze water onto rock in outer space because there's no water in outer space. It's all frozen. So how do you mix rock and ice? You can't. There's no way to do it. So basically it's a fingerprint of God. It's him creating something that has no other explanation other than intelligent supernatural creation.
No one ever said that the comets we have today are the same comets that existed when the universe was created. The comets that entered the inner solar system, like where we are, a very long time ago, have indeed evaporated. No one tries to argue against that. However, new comets enter our solar system from time to time. They are kicked out of the Oort cloud and the Kuiper belt because these hold mini comets that are protected from the sun and do not evaporate. Occasionally, gravitational, I guess you could say, burps from other comets bump them into our elliptical orbits, which cause them to come near the sun. And also, the predicted lifespan of one short period comet like Hale-Bopp is 40,000 years, not 6,000 years. Also, Well, that's the Chison and Macmillan 93 article. I'll put that up in the information box too. Let's move on to the next set of arguments.
You might protest by saying, how can starlight from stars being billions of light years away from Earth have light reaching Earth if they were only created about 6,000 years ago? Well, there's two completely plausible theories. The first of which being this. Harvard University students just stopped light. They literally stopped it in its tracks. So it's not unreasonable to assume light can be sped up as well. So, God, being the creator of everything, who can do anything he wants, can speed up light to reach the earth. It says right in Genesis that he created the stars for lights in the heavens. It would be kind of useless for him to create them if the light wasn't reaching earth.
Stopping light requires huge amounts of expensive equipment, which God doesn't have. He doesn't have a laboratory. Also, this argument relies on the Judeo-Christian God concept, and it doesn't work in science. Also, observations have proved that the speed of light has been constant. That idea that it wasn't mainly comes from Barry Setterfield. If Setterfield's model were true, the Earth would have had 417 days per year around 1 CE, and the Earth would have melted during the creation week because of high rates of radioactive decay. Let's move on to the next set of arguments.
Secondly, the theory of relativity and space-time is real interesting. What could very plausibly be happening is we are in the center of the universe. I mean,
one point I'd like to point out on relativity is that relativity is now actually kind of declining as a major theory. This is because of new ideas like superstring theory and hypergravity and stuff like that. I'm not going to get much into that because it's really lost on me. Let's continue.
If there's an intelligent creator, then there's no reason why he wouldn't put his centerpiece of creation in the center of the universe, and we can talk about the redshift and how to prove that we are in fact in the center of the universe, but that's a whole other video. Basically, if we're in the center of the universe, and we've already proved science has proven that the universe is expanding, and there's even Bible verses that says God spreads out the heavens. Anyways, so we are in the center, sitting comfortably, and the universe around us is spreading out. Okay, so it's completely plausible that the stars in outer space are being hurled through space-time at an incredibly rapid speed. So to us, who are sitting here, only 6,000 years has passed, but when we look up to the heavens, billions of years have passed. We're literally looking into the future. And that's why starlight is reaching us.
This is a ridiculously stupid argument. Science has proved that we are not the center of the universe. In fact, that was disproved with Copernicus. We rotate around the sun, which rotates around the center of the solar system, which rotates around the center of the universe. Sure, I'll agree that we are the center of our observable universe, but we are not the center of the overall universe. And under the geocentric model, the phases of the Venus and Moon, these phases of Venus and the Moon wouldn't happen to be observable from Earth. So that's one disproof of it. If he makes a movie about the geocentric model, I'll make a movie answering it. Let's go on the next set.
Noah's Ark flood happened about 4,400 years ago, according to the Bible. So, we should be able to find things no older than 4,400 years old on this Earth. The oldest tree in the Earth is 4,400 years old. The oldest desert in this world is 4,400 years old. The oldest coral reef on this planet is 4,400 years old.
The oldest tree is actually 4,767 years old, bud. And also the oldest coral is actually 4,200 years old. Not that it helps my argument, I was just pointing out that he's an idiot. And guess what? The oldest rock is 4.4 billion years old. That's not 4,400 years old.